The Chicago Bears are doing everything they can to set up their next potential franchise quarterback for success. They invested heavily into this offense this offseason by bringing in DeAndre Swift in the backfield, trading for Keenan Allen, and officially trading Justin Fields. This was a big deal as a lot of Bears fans believed in Justin Fields and wanted him to stay. I know a lot of fans that I have talked to personally have said this and aren't particularly high on Caleb Williams, but when it comes to this business, the feelings of fans don't matter. And they decided to move on from Fields for only a 2025 sixth-round pick that converts to a fourth-rounder if he plays more than 51% of snaps. This is a good thing for both of the franchises, but I want to focus on what this means for the future of the Chicago Bears. Last year for USC, Caleb had 3,633 yards and 30 touchdowns while only throwing 5 picks. The year before, he had 4,537 yards and 42 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions again. He has been a consistent Heisman contestant as well. Caleb did struggle against better teams throughout his last season and people will use that against him, but the reason why the Bears are drafting him potentially is because they can't risk missing out another potential generational quarterback. They passed up on Patrick Mahomes for Mitch Trubisky. They took Mitch over Deshaun Watson as well. The Bears now have the opportunity to select a potential quarterback that can elevate their franchise. Caleb does have pressure on him, but since the Bears have heavily invested into this offense, like I said, and brought in DJ Moore last season, he has no excuse not to be able to get the job done in Chicago. This is a win-win situation for both franchises, even though I think the Bears gave up Fields away for practically nothing if he doesn't play more than 51% of snaps, unless they get a steal in that 6th round draft. But the Bears can't risk missing out on Caleb Williams. It makes no sense now to draft Marvin Harrison. Before Fields was traded, a lot of Bears fans wanted them to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and keep Fields, and if you have him with this receiver core, that offense would have been deadly. But I think Caleb Williams is the #1 pick this draft, and I do not see the Bears trading at all in this draft anymore. They're not trading backwards in the draft. That makes no sense. I've seen that going around. He has a similar play style to Mahomes, and I think that's why a lot of people can dislike him or not see his full potential with what the media is saying on top of it. I understand people may think he has a huge ego or is cocky because of what happened in the combine, but he has every reason to be so, I believe. I know last year his agent specifically said that he doesn't want to play for Chicago, and now that we are here a year later and the Bears have the 1st round pick, it seems like people may have forgotten about that, but the Bears are setting him up for success. They do need to add to the O-line or will be running a lot like Fields was. He has a lot of weapons that can get him into the playoffs, but it's up to him and this coaching staff. They put in a new coaching staff as well in Chicago, and when adding a rookie quarterback and new receivers, it will be a fresh start for this offense. We saw towards the end of the year last year, after the Bears had traded for Sweat, we saw this defense as a whole elevate a ton, and we saw Fields and DJ Moore pick up the slack on this offense. We also saw Cole Kmet step up a ton. We don't ever get to see a 7-win team with the 1st pick, so when the Bears finessed the Panthers last year, it makes it even better of a situation for Caleb help turn this franchise around. He played a lot of Pac-12 competition. A lot of people aren't sure if his flashy playstyle will carry over into the NFL, which is understandable to think, but his skill sets aren't going to just drop off completely. If he's any top prospect, he'll be able to adapt and adjust properly to what defenses are being played against him. This defense that they have put together will help them out throughout the season, as they have added defensive lineman Byron Cowher and kept guys like Jalen Johnson, who had a great year last year. The production this offense can do has scary potential when you give them the #1 quarterback prospect in the whole entire draft. Caleb Williams has been putting up an insane highlight reels these last few seasons at USC, but highlights aren't going to just get the job done. He showed he can produce in college against Pac-12 opponents, but he's going to have to do this in the NFL now. If the Bears can just add some more depth to their O-line, or maybe use the 9th pick on one, that would help them out a lot. They have the 9th pick as well, like I just said, and I could see them maybe grabbing another tackle or guard, someone on the offensive line. But this receiver room in this draft class is so deep. If a top prospect is still available like Neighbors, then you have to take him, even though I don't think he will. This is the best situation for any #1 quarterback prospect potentially ever. Caleb Williams already has a ton of potential and has shown why he's a #1 overall pick, and he has the opportunity to go ahead and help this great offense they put together now. And a lot of people, I think, are underplaying what they're doing because they might think they overpaid for DeAndre Swift or because Keenan Allen is getting older, but those two moves right there already elevate this offense a ton from what it was last year. The Bears receiving core last year consisted of DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Tyler Scott. Those were their main wide receivers. You also had Cole Kmet, who was up there in tight end performances overall last season. He stepped up a ton and helped this offense heat up towards the end of the season, but you expect him to have an even better year next year. Their receiving core going into the season already is DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Those two already are better than the 3 receivers they had. You also have Cole Kmet. You could also potentially see Rome Odunze from Washington still be available at #9, which would be a huge addition to this offense on top of adding Caleb Williams. Some people see Caleb Williams as a generational talent, and like I've mentioned, the Bears just can't can't afford risking passing up another generational talent after the 2017 draft. The Bears did their best they could when trading Fields, even if it hurt a lot of the fans' feelings. It's business at the end of the day, and like I mentioned, Fields will help the Steelers offense a lot, I believe, so hopefully they at least get a 4th rounder from him. Justin Fields had 10 wins in total in the last 2 seasons as a starter, but Caleb Williams is eager to help out any offense elevate in the NFL and should be excited for the situation he is potentially going into. Keenan Allen recorded over 1,000 receiving yards in only 13 games last season and also didn't have Justin Herbert all year long. And DJ Moore finished as one of the best receivers in the league last year, recording 1,364 yards and 8 touchdowns off of 96 catches. The Bears also picked up tight end Gerald Everett, who will help add depth to this offense. He's a decent player as well and will play nicely alongside Cole Kmet. The Bears did everything they could and played their cards right when it came to getting prepared for the Caleb Williams era. It is now just up to him if he will be able to carry it over into the NFL and perform at the level he is expected to. Caleb Williams has his pro day today, the day I'm recording this, and we'll be able to see for the first time his performances, as he did not do any in the combine. He didn't even take a physical. Every single team showed up as they should to watch the #1 prospect. Caleb Williams has a special arm talent and overall athleticism that makes him a #1 pick, and he will show why. Like I mentioned, he's ready to elevate any NFL offense, and he has the abilities and the team to do so.